Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mustafa. Today I'm going to teach you how you can create a form in React and how you can get the value or the text that has been typed inside a form. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And by the way guys, I have created a complete course on how to create a social network using React. And you can take that course and you will take your React skills to the next level. You'll find the link in the description below. So let's get started. Now in our project we have this user component, and inside that user component you can add a form to that user component. Let's add a new form here, form, and then inside that form we can have the input. And we can have many inputs, and I'm going to create here an input, and that input can have attributes such as the placeholder. Let's say here placeholder, and that placeholder can have something like, let's say, type something about yourself, and then I'm going to save and check that in the browser. Now in the browser you should find here a new, if you refresh, you should find here a new component or a new input. So as you can see here, we have a new input here that says type something about yourself. You can type something here inside that input. And now what we want to do is that we want to get the text that the user is going to type here about him or herself. So how can we do that? Well, we can use something called refs. In React, there's something called refs, which lets you create a reference to an input, and then using that reference you can get the value of that input. So for example, here for that input we can give it a reference, and that reference is going to be equal to a variable that you create. Let's create a variable called this. Let's create a variable called about yourself, and that variable must be created in the constructor of that class. So here we have this user component, we have this constructor. Inside that constructor you need to use this, and then the name of the variable, which is about yourself, and then you need to tell React, hey React, I want to make a reference called about yourself. So we want that variable to be a reference, not just a simple variable. We want it to be a special type of a reference of a variable called reference. We want it to be a reference to that input, so that whenever we want to use that input for any purpose, we can use that reference to access that input. So to do that in React, you just type here React, and then you call create reference, create ref. So this way you told React, hey React, we want this about yourself variable to be a reference to this input, and then you can access that input value by using that about yourself. So for example, if you want to access the value that the user is going to type here, we first need to create a button here, input, and that is going to have a type of submit, and then it's going to have a value of submit. And then let me save and show you that in the browser. In the browser you should find now a button here. As you can see here, we have a submit button, and then what we want to do is that we want to give that button a click event. We want to listen for clicks on that button, so I'm going to say here on click, and then if the user clicks on that button we want to call a method. So I'm going to pass the method that I want to call, this dot button clicked, and then I'm going to create that method here, button clicked, and then it's going to be equal to an arrow function. And then we can simply use the alert to make sure that the button is working. I'm going to say here button clicked, and then I'm going to save. And now in the browser, let me refresh, and we have an error here. It should be, we should make sure that everything is correct. Let me again refresh, and now if I click on that button, as you can see, it's going to display this alert. But we want to display the text, that text that the user is going to type here. We want to display it inside that alert. How can we do that? How can we access the text? Very, very simple. Here in this button clicked, you can use this dot about yourself, and then dot current, and then dot value. That way you told React to get the value of that input, and then you can display it. You can copy it and display it inside here, inside that alert. Here, paste it, and then save. And now it's going to display the text that's inside that input, inside the alert. Let's now test that. Let's now refresh and test that. Let me now type here something. This is Mustafa, and then I'm going to click on submit. As you can see, it's going to display that text in the alert. So this is how you can get a text from an input and display it wherever you want, and get it to inside other methods and use it wherever you want. So hopefully this tutorial is useful, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And again, check the description below because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. And also, if you want to take your React skills to the next level, then make sure to take the course that I have created about how to create a social network using React. This is Most. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mustafa. Today I'm going to teach you how you can get a value from an input and update your state and display the value here in the HTML code instead of just using the alert. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video, and also check the description below because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. So let's get started. First of all, in order to get the value, we use the ref as before, but instead of using this button clicked, we want to update the state. We want to create a value or a variable in the state called comma, and then about yourself, and it's going to be empty. Initially it's going to be empty, and we want to get that value and display it here above that form. I'm going to create a new h2, and then I'm going to use this dot state dot about yourself. And obviously it's going to display, if I save now, it's going to display nothing because we have this about yourself empty. It's empty, as you can see in the state, it's empty. So we want to fill this about yourself with something. Let me first show you in the browser. As you can see, there's nothing. Let's fill this with something. But before we fill it with something, let me just show you if you set a default value. Let's say this is about yourself. About yourself. And if I save, it's going to display this is. So now, as you can see, it's displaying this is about yourself. Now what we want to do is that we want to update the value of this about yourself according to the value that the user is going to type here, according to the text. So whenever a user types something here and then clicks on submit, we want to update this text. How can we do that? Well, remember here, after the user clicks on this button, we are going to be calling button clicked method. So once we call this button clicked, we want to update the value of the about yourself. We want to update this value. We want to update this property. So inside that button clicked, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this dot set state, which is a method that's given by React, and it's gonna let you update any property that's inside that state, any property you want. So we want to set state, and then we pass here the property that we want to update. So what we want to update is that we want to update the about yourself property, and then you can update it with whatever text you want, whatever value you want. So we want to update it with this. So I'm going to copy this. And paste it here, and I'm going to remove this alert. We no longer need this alert. Let me now save and head on over to the browser to test and see what's going to happen. If I refresh, let's see what's going to happen. Now initially the value is going to be here. This is about yourself. And if I type something here, I am an entrepreneur, and then I'm going to click on submit, and as you can see, it changed the value, but it went back to this is about yourself. Why? Because actually whenever you use a form, you need to pass the event here. You need to pass the event, and then you need to call here prevent default, because if you don't use this prevent default, if you don't call it, it's going to reload the page and it's going to set the old value again. So make sure that you use and then prevent event whenever you use a form. Let me now save and test again. Now let me refresh, and then I'm going to type a new text. Hi, I'm an entrepreneur, and then I'm going to click on submit, and as you can see, it has changed the text. The text now is changed, and it will remain, it will store the new text, and the old value, the old default value has been changed. And you can even change it whenever you want. So you can say here, hi, I am a React dev, and then click submit. As you can see, hi, I am a React dev. So this is how you can use forms in React, and this is how you can update a state using a form in React. So if you have any questions about this tutorial or other tutorials, leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you have any comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. And also check the description below, because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. This is Mustafa. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mustafa. Today I'm going to teach you how you can use buttons in React in order to change the color text. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And also check the description below, because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. So let's get started. First of all, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create two buttons. One button to change the color of that text to be red, and the other button to change the color to be blue. So if the user clicks on the red color, it's going to change this color of this text to be red, and if the user clicks on the blue button, it's going to change the color of that text to be blue. So the first thing that we need to do, obviously, is that we need two buttons. Here I'm going to create button, and then that button is going to say red, and another button here, button, and that button is going to say blue. And let's save and see that in the browser. Now in the browser, if you refresh, you'll find that we have two buttons, but let's add some CSS attributes to these buttons. So for this button, I'm going to say style, and then the style is going to be equal to, let's say, background color, and it's going to be red. And for the for here, it should be object and comma, and then the color itself, color of that button, of that text, is going to be, say, white, and then I'm going to do the same with the blue button. I'm going to copy the complete style and paste it in the other button, and here it's going to be blue. And also let's give it some margin, and let's give it a margin of 5, and here also margin of 5. And let's save and head on over to the browser to see the difference. So as you can see, we have now two buttons, red and blue. So we want to add event listeners to these two buttons, and to do that we use the on click. So I'm gonna here use the on click, and then here this is gonna call a method, and this on click is also going to call the same method, but it's gonna pass a different color. So here, in order to call a method, all we need to do is that we need to pass here an arrow function, and also in the other button we pass an arrow function, and then inside that arrow function we call the method that we want. This dot change color, and then we pass here the color that we want. Let's pass here red, and here in the second one we pass this dot change color, and then I'm gonna pass blue, and then we can create that method. Here we can create that method change color, and it's gonna be equal to an arrow function, and it takes the color here as a parameter, color, and then we need to check that color value. If that color is equal to red, then we want to set a value in the state here called color or text color, and it's gonna be initially by default it's gonna be black, and then here if the color is red, obviously we want to use this dot set state, and then we change the color, the text color, to be red, or to be the color here. You can pass the color here without even if statement. You can immediately pass the color. So if you remove the if statement, it's gonna work. If you remove that and only pass the color, it's gonna work, by the way, because we already here, remember, we already passed the color red and blue, so there is no need for if statement. You can use if statement if you pass here a variable, not a text. So let's test now with this. But obviously we need here to for this h2 we need to pass the color here inside that style of that h2. So here style is going to be equal to color, and then the color is going to be equal to the this dot state dot text color, and initially it's going to be black. Let's save and head on over to the browser to test. So here, as you can see, it's initially black. Now if I click on this red, as you can see, the color has now changed to be to red. If I click on blue, it changed the color to the blue color. And and as you can see, it worked. And if you don't want to pass the color text like this, if you don't want to pass red and blue, you can pass the event E, and also here E, and then here you can also pass the E, and here you can also pass the event, and then using that event you can access the information about that button. And remember here this button has a text, has a blue word with a capital B, and the other one red with a capital R. So we can access the event in that change color. Instead of color, I'm going to pass here E, event, and then we can check that event if e.target.inner HTML, if that is equal to red with a capital R, then what we want to do is that we want to set the state, this.set state, and then we want to set the text color here, text color to be red with the small r, and then else if, you can add even here else if the e.target.inner HTML is equal to blue with a capital B, we want to set the state here, text color, and then blue here, blue. And you can even have here else you can just leave this .set state with a default color, text color, and then it's gonna be black. And we are done. Let me now save and head on over to the browser. And now in the browser, let me refresh. And now if I click on red, it's gonna work. Red, it changed the color to be red. And also the blue, it changed the color to be blue. So this is how you can use buttons to change the CSS style of a specific element in React. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Also check the description below because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. This is Mustafa. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mustafa. Today I'm going to talk about how you can add links to your application, to your React application. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And also check the description below because I have created a free guide on how to make money online coding. So let's get started. First of all, as we know, React is a single page web application. Therefore, in order to add links, it's a little bit tricky. And there is a great library called React Router that's going to help us accomplish that, which is an awesome library. It's a great library you can install and you can add it to your project, and you will be able to add links and navigate from one page to another. So let's install this React Router. In order to install it, all you need to do is that you need to copy this line of code, npm install react-router-dom. So let's copy that line of code, and in our project, open your terminal, and in your terminal you just need to type or paste that line of code and hit enter, and this is going to install that module, and you will be able to use it. So it's going to take some time, about 2 to 3 minutes, so don't worry. So once the module has been downloaded, now we can start using it. But how can we use it? Well, if you go back to the website, which is reactrouter.com, which the website from where we have installed the module, you'll find here an example on how to use it. First, in order to be able to use it, you need to import its elements. As you can see, import browser router and switch and root and link. Let me explain how it works. First of all, you need to surround your elements with an element called router. As you can see, at the beginning you need to surround it with router, and at the end you need to close that tag, and then inside that you can have links. For example, you can have here a link called home, and you can have another link called about, and a third link called users, and then you need to have something called switch, and that switch will allow you to go from one page to another. So for example, here inside that switch we have three routes. The first route has the about URL. So whenever a user clicks on that about link, it's going to execute kind of execute that code and display the about component. If the user clicks on users, the user's link, it's gonna here go to the route that has the user's URL, and it's gonna display the user's component. So this is how it works. Let's copy that code from here and add it to our application. But before we do that, let's import. We need to import that. So let's now import this. I'm gonna get that line of code, and in our project I'm gonna paste it at the top of the component that we want to use that in. So I'm gonna paste it here at the top, and we can now start using this module. And I'm gonna copy the code from here in order to save our time. I'm gonna copy that code, and in our project I'm gonna paste it inside that div. Inside that div I'm gonna paste that part, and we can now change what needs to be changed. For example, we don't have about, and we don't have users, and we don't have home. I'm gonna remove these, and instead I'm gonna leave these as they are, but if the user clicks on about, we want to display here just h1 that's gonna say about. Here it's gonna say about. And if the user clicks on users, I'm gonna display here h1 and then users. And if the user just clicks on the main route, we can just say h1 main route, main link, or main page. Let's say main page. And let me now save and head on over to the browser to see how it's gonna look like. Now in the browser, let me first refresh. And as you can see now, we have three links. We have home, we have about, and we have users. And by default, it's gonna display the main route, the main page. If you click on about, it's gonna display the h1 that's inside the about route. If you click on users, it's gonna display users. And notice the difference in the URL in the browser. Now in the browser, it's displaying /users. If you click on about, it's gonna display /about. So this is how you can add links to your React application by using the React Router module. So if you have any questions about this tutorial or other tutorials, leave your comments and your questions in the comment section below. And also check the description below, because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding, and I have also created a course on how to create a social network using React. I'd highly recommend taking this course if you really want to master React. That's it. This is Mustafa. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mustafa. Today I'm gonna teach you how you can use Bootstrap in a React application. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And also check the description below, because I have created a free guide on how to make money online coding. So let's get started. First of all, Bootstrap is an amazing way to design your website and make it look amazing. So in order to use Bootstrap, you need to go to this link, react-bootstrap.github.io, and you can start using Bootstrap. But of course, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to install Bootstrap. So you need to use the npm install react bootstrap. So you need to copy this you need to copy this command, and in your project you need to paste it. So you need to paste it and hit enter in order to install bootstrap. So it's gonna take some time, about 2 to 3 minutes. So after you have installed bootstrap successfully, the next step is that importing the CSS. So you need to import the CSS in the main component. So our main component, remember, our main component is the index.js, which is our starting point. So you need to import the CSS in the main component, only in the main component, and that's it. Now we can start using Bootstrap. So in order to use any component given by Bootstrap, first of all, click on components, and you'll find many components on the left side. For example, we have the alerts, we have the badge, we have the cards, we have buttons, many things. But in order to use any of these components, you have to import that component, that specific component. For example, the buttons, if you click on the buttons, there are many buttons given by Bootstrap. And to use that button, you have to import it. How can you import it? How can you import something from Bootstrap? Well, in the component that you want to use the button or any Bootstrap component in, you need to import that component. So here at the top of the user, you need to type import, and then inside curly braces type the name of the component. For example, if you wanted the button, we type here button, and then from, and then react hyphen bootstrap, and we are done. Now we can use that button. So at the render here, we can use the button, and here it says you can type here click me, and that button has many attributes that you can use. For example, it has the variant, which gives that button a color. We have these variants. We have the primary, secondary, success. Let's use one of these in our project. Let's say here variant, and then it's going to be equal to success. And then if I save and head on over to the project, head on over to the browser, and let's refresh that in the browser. We have an error here. It says identifier button has already been declared, because we have here another button, so we need to only use one. Let me remove the other one and use the one given by Bootstrap. Now let me again refresh, and it should work and display that button here. So as you can see, now we have here a button that says click me. So this is given by Bootstrap, which is amazing, and it looks nice, and you can integrate it into your application, into your web project. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions about this tutorial or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And also check the description below, because I have created a free guide on how to make money online coding. That's it for this tutorial. This is Mustafa. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mustafa. Today I'm gonna teach you how you can integrate Bootstrap with your links. So we have links and we have Bootstrap, and we can add both together to create an amazing website. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And also check the description below, because I have created a free guide on how to make money online coding. So let's get started. First of all, here as you can see in our project, we have these three links: home, about, and users. And instead of having these three, I'm gonna leave the home as is, but I'm gonna change here this about to be let's say name, and it's gonna have a URL of name. And for the third link, it's gonna have a URL of website, and here it's gonna say website. And then I'm gonna create another link here, link for this. It's gonna be equal to a link, and that link for the car. So I'm gonna say here car, and it's gonna have a URL of /car. And we want to use, let me first save and show you that in the browser. And as you can see, we have these links, and they don't look great because they are very close to one another. Now we want to use Bootstrap to make these links look much better than this. And we also want to display this information only if the user clicks on the corresponding button. So for example, if the user clicks on name, we want to display the name. If the user clicks on website, we want to display the website. If the user clicks on car, we want to display the car. How can we do that? Well, first of all, I'm gonna add these links inside buttons. So for example, the first button, I'm gonna surround it with a button. The first link, I'm gonna surround it with a button given by Bootstrap. So I'm gonna say here button, and then inside that button, I'm gonna display that link. I'm gonna be displaying that link inside that button. And that button is going to have a variant of equal to success. And don't forget to import the button from Bootstrap at the top. Button, and then from Bootstrap, from React Bootstrap. And then if the user clicks on this home button, we can display here the route that's corresponding to the home, which is this main page. And for the second button, we have here name. For the second link, we have this name. And we want also to surround it with a button. So I'm going to say here button. And then I'm going to surround that button. I'm going to surround that link with that button, with that link, which has the URL of name. And also the variant can be something else. Let's say secondary. And for the third button, I'm going to do the same button, and it's going to have a different variant. We have also the dark, and then I'm going to surround that link with that button. And for the last button, for the last link, I'm going to do the same button and then variant, and we also have the primary. You can use the primary. And let's surround that link with that button, and we are good to go. But the problem is that the link now looks great. If you go to the browser, you'll find that it's going to look much better. But there is a problem, which is the link itself has the blue color, and we don't want that. We want that to have something else, because now it doesn't display the name clearly. We don't know what's the text that's displayed on each of these buttons. And to fix that, we can use CSS. So for each link, you can add here the style, and then you specify your style by typing double curly braces and then specify the color. So the color that I'm going to be using is white for all of the links. I'm going to copy this attribute, and then I'm going to give that attribute to the second link, and also the third link, and also the fourth link. And now if I save and go back to the browser, you will find that it looks much better. As you can see now, it looks amazing. But there is still a problem, which is this information. We only want to display the text that's corresponding to the button. For example, this name button, if I click on it, I want to display my name. The website, if I click on the website, I want to display that website. And the car as well, if I click on that car button, I want to display the car. How can we do that? Well, it's very simple. All we need to do is that you need to copy that line of code, for example, that displays the name, and remove it from here and display it only inside the corresponding root. So for the name here, we need to create a root called name, has a path of name, and inside it we can display that name. For the website, you can create a root that has a path of website, and inside that root you can display h2, and then you can here use the curly braces and then this dot state dot website. And you can do the same with the other root, and then inside that root you can give it a path name of, we have the car, so here it's gonna be, it's actually path, not path name, and then / car, and inside that car root you can display h2, and then this dot state dot car. And for the main page, you can just display main page. And we no longer need these. I'm going to remove these. And we need to push that inside because our code is not clean and organized. It's not very organized. Now, if you push that code inside, it's going to look more organized. And now we can save and test that in the browser. Now in the browser, let me refresh. And as you can see, it's going to display website if I click on website. And it's going to display my name if I click name. If I click on car, it's going to display the car. And if I click on home, it's going to display main page. So it looks amazing and it worked. And this is, by the way, very important. If you want to create a website, you would have to use the link and you would have to use the buttons to display different content depending upon which link has been clicked. And also the URL here changes according to the link that you have clicked on. So this is how it works. Bootstrap and the router and roots together. And that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions about this tutorial or other tutorials, feel free to ask me and leave your comments and questions in the comment section below. And also check the description below because I have created a complete course on how to create a social network using React. And this course is going to take your skills in React to the next level. That's it. This is Mustafa. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.